That is the hallmark if somebody has no clue what they're doing.
If there's any way to not use stock photos that we see everywhere.
This style has been used since about 2015, and I think that its shelf life has expired 2 or 3 years ago.
So that would be my only kind of concern. It runs the risk of looking kind of like
stocky.
Yeah, that one looks great.
So we're going to be getting on a call with the client to show them the references that we pulled together. There's a few things that we want to accomplish here. When the target customer lands on this website, what is their knee-jerk reaction going to be? Are we going for very corporate looking? Do we want warm and fuzzy? Do we want high-end? We're going to get an idea of what our client's going for based on what their comments are going to be on these references that we are about to share. We also want to get an idea of how to handle different sections of the website. Are we going to use icons? Are we going to use stock photography? We're going to share a few options with them. And overall, are there any things that our client absolutely hates that we need to make sure that we avoid? All right, so let's see what they think about these references. I want to hear your commentary, like things you like, things you don't like about each section.
Just initial, I don't know if it's just something I'm more used to, but I kind of prefer the logo and then some white space and then the nav menu. And then also with the our locations and the phone number on the top right there too. It's just kind of too busy with the logo and all that right there.
I do think when we send over the kind of brand style guide, you'll see some of this, but I think the gradient is good, right? Carrie, I think we had that in.
Yeah, I like it too. The colors would be maybe slightly different, but that would kind of go along with some of the stuff that we have style guide wise. I like kind of like the blocks, the darker blue kind of blocks setting apart.
So the fact that she's mentioning blocks tells us that they don't want a flow necessarily where everything kind of flows together. Like there are layouts and there are references in here that are not block by section. They have the preference for breaking up the different sections and the information visually with different blocks.
Part of it in the middle looked maybe a little copy heavy. I like the Our Story.
Yeah, and we could probably just use some of what we already have in terms of the Our Story stuff. We're a family-owned, operated business, so that's something we've leaned on over time already.
I hate Homestead's rebrand.
I kind of like the simplicity of this one, but then maybe it's like a little too simple. Like, whereas the other one I thought was maybe a little too busy, this one might be a little too simple, but it's really clean and easy to read, which is a plus.
I liked what the designer of this website did with the images up top, where they photoshopped out a shape and then added a graphic in the background that looks a lot more branded. What are your feelings about this thing?
I think it looks good, but I think also it runs the risk of looking kind of like
stocky.
Yeah, that one looks great.
So this was a design that Luhan did for another client.
I think awesome. Part of it is, if you go back to that other one, like there's so much white in the background.
Yeah.
It almost seems like it was stock from WordPress or something and you didn't make the change.
I know there might not be a lot of stock in it, but I like having the kind of like the news section that links to the blog.
Is it a priority? Do you want to have?
I do. I don't know that much about using the blog for like SEO strategy, but I do see there's another agency that does a good job, because instead of like 7 ways you need, they'll just say 7 ways you in Walnut Creek, California, or whatever.
That is the hallmark if somebody has no clue what they're doing. It actually angers me a little bit.
Explain.
No, I'm serious. All right, so there's a common bad SEO practice done by people that don't quite understand keyword mapping, where they will decide, well, to help my local SEO, I'm going to change this to symptoms of Alzheimer's in Berlin, New Jersey. What we're trying to do when we're writing articles is to answer the questions that people have. And unless the symptoms of Alzheimer's are different everywhere on the planet other than Berlin, New Jersey, it doesn't make sense to write that kind of article. Now, what might make sense is something like licensing to become a caregiver in California. That makes sense because there is a difference there, and that is something that someone may actually search. But unless you have people that are explicitly looking for things like tips for caring for someone with dementia in Ohio, the article really should just be tips for caring for someone with dementia. It's on your buyer's journey, and you can rank for it, and they're not going to be satisfied with an AI answer, and enough people are actually Googling this topic. I would bet like my year's salary that you go into their search console, and in the 5 years that they've been doing this, they've not once ever driven an inquiry from one single one of those articles. And then somebody comes to us and say like SEO doesn't work because they've been engaging in these practices.
No, it definitely reads weird. I thought they were doing that for that specific reason to make.
No, they're doing it because they hired somebody in the Philippines. That's why they did it. This is the next one. This one is very bright and happy. I really like this website.
I like the look of this one too. I like how there's different specific sections, but some of them do kind of have more of the same background.
What are your thoughts about the pictures versus the icons for presenting each one of the services?
All the photos in a row like that looks kind of like busy or condensed, but when you look at the whole kind of homepage, it's pretty balanced. It's really like clean and simple, so I don't hate it.
I think this is the same aesthetic.
Yeah, that's a really common stock photo. If there's any way to not use stock photos that we see everywhere.
The best is we can hire a photographer.
Yeah, my only thought with that is time consuming to get everybody's like consent and to get it set up. So that would be my only kind of concern.
All right, the key.
I do like the way that looks, but I also like the last one where you have a little bit of copy on the side to go with the image. So I'm torn. I could go either way.
I would like to direct you towards something where you have like copy on one side and an image on the other. This style has been used since about 2015, and I think that its shelf life has expired 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
So the formula of a high converting page, you start off by telling people that they're in the right place. Then you have the calls to action. Here we have book a consultation. Then the next thing after the hero section, we want to establish social proof. There's a lot of different approaches to this. Should it be reviews? Should it be the years you've been open? Should it be your size?
I think probably reviews. We have a good reputation as far as our reviews are concerned, and we have a solid amount of them, and we've worked at getting them.
Does that sound like it works for you?
Yep.
All right, we're ready to go with this then.
Thank you guys. Whenever you can you send me those emails to me with the mock-ups and that?
I'll forward it to you. I have them.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye guys.
Thank you.